So welcome to another episode of Sail Design with sailflow 2.0, an add-on of Blender. First things you have to do if you want to make a windsurf sail is to download a reference image of the sail you want to do, unless you want to design completely from scratch. And in this case I have downloaded a couple of images from internet of sail windsurf design. And this one is the one I have uploaded. Make sure the dimensions are correct. To do that, you go here where there is a measure tool, and for instance I measure the distance between the top and the bottom of the sail, which in this case is 4.7 meters, as you see on the screen. Let's assume this is a bit too much, it's probably not in the right dimension. I shorten a bit the image, resize a bit the image, I measure again. Okay, 4.3 is exactly what I wanted. Let's assume that. Okay, I erase the measure, and for things I want to mirror this image because that's the way I like to work, with a mirrored image. Okay, it's a bit of a custom design, so the first things we have to do is to create a plane, which we're not going to use, and go to edit mode, where we can select the vertices and erase everything but one vertex. So vertex, so I select the vertex, I press X and then delete the vertex, and then I remain with only one. It's not very visible, I hope you can follow a bit. So I put it in the first corner of the sail, and then using this tool and keeping the Ctrl key pressed, as you will see on the screen, I start putting vertices where the buttons are, and basically where my panel cut will be. So I go all around the sail doing this, and by doing this I basically replicate the shape of the sail. Okay. Continue a bit more here and here, and we're almost done. And when I finish that, I only have vertices, and I have to create the edges that connect the vertices and then the faces. So I let's say remove the image from visibility. I press F between two selected vertices as now, and I have now a complete set of edges all around the sail. So the shape looks okay, and what I have to do now is to create edges where the panel should be. So basically they are where the buttons are in the drawing that we just see. So F, two vertices connected, press F, and I create an edge. Okay, now I have all the let's say boundary of the panel. First things I have to select them all and mark them as a seam that will be used later for flattening the sail. Go to under edge, mark seam. They became red, and this is a sign they are seam now. And first let me duplicate this sail because I will need it for an example later. Press Shift D and I have an exact copy of the sail. And now I need to create faces because I only have edges at the moment. So I selected it, I go to edit mode with tab, I select A, and then I press F, and I have all faces. I go back to object mode and I go to this modifier selections and subsurface modifier. I select simple and I increase the number of subdivision I want. And you see now my sail is neatly divided in square. I can select more or less. Okay, I select 4, seems to be a good number. 5 seems a bit too much. But okay, let's leave it at 5. So it will be more work for the algorithm, but at the end nothing changed much. I press Ctrl T to have all triangles, all the small faces created, and now I can generate a profile. I go here, the max camber 5, the camber position is 15% of the length of the sail, seems to be okay for a windsurf sail. And now what I want to do is I want to create a panel. So I go in edit mode, I select the face, then Ctrl L to select the entire face. Let me enable the screencast again. And once I have selected the panel, I press develop selected face, and I have it. For a reason which I don't understand at the moment, I have the panel which are a bit upside down when I generate them. In this case, in this example, I just need to mirror it until I have the right the right, let's say, vertical and horizontal orientation. You have to play with this mirror X and Y local until you have the shape that you're expecting. Okay, in this case, panel 01 seems to be okay. I go then to the next one, develop selected faces. The panel is developed. Again, doesn't look the right orientation. I need to mirror a number of times. Again, I don't know why the algorithm does like that. I have to find out another time. And okay, the same for this panel. And again, I'll try to mirror a couple of times until it becomes okay, and it seems okay now. And I go for the second last, the top one. Same process, Control L, develop selected faces. And okay, you see that the max stress is 53%, but at the end of the day, this is so small that it doesn't really matter. So it's such a small part of the sail, which therefore doesn't really matter. Yeah, I have a bit of a trouble in finding out exactly how many times I have to mirror to make it right. Seems I find it finally. And here the last part of the sail. Again, Control L. This time, maybe I will need later on to increase, to distress a bit this cloth there. Let's try. Okay, I have 140% of stress, so I enable the stress this time. Stress relief, and okay, the algorithm takes a while, and okay, here I have it, and here's my panel. 15% is a small panel, so seems to be okay. Okay, I have all the panels, and I can go and print them. What I'm still missing actually is a mast sleeve. In this case, I create a Bezier curve, which I've seen before in this example, how to make profiles here in my Bezier form, and this will have to mimic the shape of the mast when it's curved. Let me enable again the screencast, sorry for that. So let's move it with a G. Okay, first I rotated a couple of times because I made a mistake here. Anyway, so G, and I bring it there, rotate a bit and size it to make more or less the dimension of the mast. Then I go to edit mode and I grab this control point and I bring them to the start and the end of the mast, and then I start rotating those with R to mimic the shape of the mast. I can size it also to diminish the influence of the curve as it is now, and seems to be more or less okay at this moment, so I don't need much more trimming, and I can go to the second stage. The second stage is to create a second Bezier curve. So Shift A and Bezier curve again. At this point in time, I could also use a different, like a NURBS curve, but let's stick to the Bezier. And I think at this point in time is also a good idea to give a bit of a naming to not get confused of this curve. This second Bezier, which I just created, will be used as a half of the sleeve profile. So basically I will have to do two halves and then stitch them together. So this is how will look like half of it when the mast is inside. Doesn't look like a right shape, so I try to make it more steep on the left side where the mast is attached. Something like that. Let's see. Seems to be okay like that. So let me change the name of the Bezier to not get confused. The first one I call sleeve, and the second one will be the sleeve profile. So I will know what it is. So double click and I just type in the name. Good. Then let me select the sleeve again, and this time I go to here, to this part of the control. I go to the geometry tab, and under bevel I say that I want to have as a bevel my sleeve profile. Of course the sleeve profile is pretty big, so you see it's pretty big also there around the mast, but oops, it got inverted for a reason, just a sec. But I can always size it, and when I size it, then it becomes smaller. So S for size, and I keep making smaller and smaller every time until it sounds like right. How do I know it's right or wrong? Well, I can always call back the image, the reference image, which I downloaded at the very beginning. Let's enable it and see whether my sleeve now matches the size of the sleeve of this image. Okay, try to size it like that, but you see it's not exactly overlapped. In fact, the sleeve should end where the sail starts. So let me move it forward a bit, and when I move it forward it becomes slightly wrong. So I need to check a bit whether the start and the stop needs to be moved, like now, a bit, not much. I mean, the accuracy of it is up to you. And okay, and then I check again. Oh, now it seems to be big. So let me select where is my sleeve profile. I select it from there, I press S, and I can make it slightly smaller, which I'm doing now. Okay, seems to be right. Okay, for this example at least. Fine. So now I duplicate it, because maybe if I make a mistake I want to be back again and do it again. So I duplicate it with Shift D. This is still a curve with a bevel, but I want to transform it in a mesh. So right click, menu comes out, and I press convert to a mesh. Now this is not anymore a curve, it is a mesh. And as a mesh, I can go in edit mode, select everything, triangulate with Ctrl T, so all my faces are now triangle, that is needed for the algorithm. And then I select part of it, like now with B, and then I go to sailflow and I select develop. Oh, I forgot one thing. I need to apply or transform, basically movement and rotation and size, otherwise the algorithm will think about different sizes. So let me do it again. Go to edit mode, the faces were already selected, and you see now the flattening surfaces are of the right size. So let me select others with B. I can select a group of faces like that. Maybe I want to select a bit more, also this bit on top. Let me try. Okay, from the beginning again. Okay, let me select everything. Good. Develop selected face, second bit, and now the last bit. Select again. I go back to edit mode with tab, and then I select everything. Again, let me try again. Sorry, it's a live performance problems. And okay, and now you have all the pieces of this sleeve. Remember, you have to duplicate those pieces because you have to stitch together to do a full 360. And so guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial on how to design a windsurf sail with sailflow 2.0, and stay tuned for more tutorial. Thank you, bye.